Welcome back to the show. Carly, you know we love to celebrate our friends and the businesses of Tampa Bay, especially if they have big milestones. And one of our favorite restaurant franchises around the area, Bavaro's. They're celebrating a big anniversary too, 12th anniversary. Dan Bavaro is with us now. Dan, good morning. I think you're coming to us from the Tampa location, aren't you?
Correct. Yeah. It's amazing that March 9th, 2009, we opened this restaurant here in downtown Tampa, 514 North Franklin Street. I can't believe it's 12 years. It's been amazing.
12 years and growing. There's other locations as well. Congratulations on everything. And they say the restaurant industry really is tough, I think, to make it to that. I mean, 12 years is huge for a restaurant, is it not?
Yeah, it's usually like, I think the ratio is 9 out of 10 in the first year fail. And then those that make it, 9 out of 10 of those fail within the next 5 years. So,
and those stats are before COVID, before having to deal with what everybody has, had to deal with this last year.
Correct. Yeah, you have to be on your toes all the time, obviously, but it comes down to, the product you provide, which we know our product is the highest quality. We have an amazing team that supports Bavaro's, and Tampa Bay has been so supportive of our company over the last 12 years. So we can only appreciate, everything that we've been blessed with. So I just want to thank you. And it's funny because our first TV segment that I ever did was probably about 10 years ago. It was with Morning Blend. So this is maybe a few milestones for us here this year.
Dan, this is kind of a tribute to you as we've gotten to know you and your family through the years. To see what you've been able to do for the Tampa Bay community, I think that speaks volumes about you. Just yesterday, I wrote you on Facebook that I was excited to see that you were going to be on the show and celebrate you. And all of the different people associated with other restaurants were liking and commenting as well. I think that's such a tribute to you. Why was it so important for you and your family to really make it more about a restaurant, but also make it about the relationship between a community and a very special place such as your restaurants?
Yeah, I'll say like year two that settled in. The first 2 years when we moved, we didn't really know what Tampa was about. And like year two, I'm looking at what we're doing to kind of advertise downtown, advertise Bavaro's, because no one would really come down here after 4 o'clock or on the weekends. And I'm like, marketing just doesn't feel right. It just didn't feel good, and it wasn't part of like the long-term business model. So we started to connect with local and fundraisers, schools, etc. And that felt good. It doesn't always provide a return, let's just say, as some paid ad as you would look for an ROI, but at least we feel good about it. We help someone else. And then over the years, that's what we became known for. And that started with this 1,000 square foot restaurant, such a small company. People come up to me, they're like, how are you doing all this giving back to the community? And our motto is like, look, if we give, hopefully we'll receive. If not, it's about sharing. It's not just taking. So that's kind of what we've done, and very little, advertising. It's more of support.
No, I love that. We're looking at your beautiful family there. We do need to mention the food, though, and let's get to what you have in front of you, because it's all about the meatballs. Tell us about these meatballs, which we understand a lot of thought went to putting these on the menu.
Yeah, so when we opened in Tampa, we pioneered Neapolitan pizza. So we were the first traditional state of Florida, probably one of the first 15 in the country. Had to battle that Neapolitan pizza. What is it? Fork and knife. Years, years of education. So I never had a meatball on the menu because I just didn't want to battle that again. So by year 8, we were opening our St. Pete location, Central Avenue, and Chef Carl was like, "Dan, we got to put meatballs on them. We can't. I don't care what issues you have with them. Let's do it." So we spent about 2 months. He kept making recipes. I'm like, no. And then about 3 hours before we opened the doors, he nailed the recipe. I'm like, let's go. Nice. Let's just do it. And I made a few hundred meatballs. And by the night, they were gone. The next day, we made a few hundred on, and that was the history of it. Because pizza is close to everybody's heart. There's so many variations. Meatballs is the same thing. A grandmother makes them, a friend's grandmother makes them, the Sunday gravy. There's so much history in the meatball that people's expectations are so high based on what they're
how does Dan Bavaro make the meatball? What's in your meatball? If you can share a little bit of the recipe for us.
I'm going to walk you through the Bavaro's meatball real quick. We're going to start with some ingredients, and it's best that you prepare prepare everything ahead of time before you get started. So we have fresh milk, sourdough bread that we bake in the brick oven, shredded Parmesan Reggiano that's aged 24 months, fresh ricotta, eggs, minced onion and garlic. We also have pancetta that we use, sea salt and pepper, chopped basil, and Italian breadcrumbs. So you're going to take all those ingredients, put it in one container, obviously add your milk and let that soak for about 30 to 40 minutes. This way it gets nice and soft, and then just break that up and incorporate everything together until it becomes one nice bowl of mixed meatball mix. And then you want to roll out your meatballs to 3.5 ounces, because when you bake them or fry them, they're reduced in size to about 3 ounces. And then once they're done at Bavaro's, we bake our meatballs at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. And then they come nice and brown here. And then we also like to soak our meatballs in our Pomodoro sauce. If you don't want to make a homemade sauce, you could go to Whole Foods, you could buy Bavaro's Pomodoro sauce on the shelves. And then you put that in a nice, beautiful dish for display. 3 meatballs, some fresh ricotta, and a little decoration of basil, Parmesan, and you're ready to go. Enjoy.
We just can't tell you enough. Congratulations. And we love what you and your family have done for the community with your restaurants. And bravo to Bavaro's.